infinite power.
Hey, what is up guys? The Ghost 267 today coming at you with episode 2 of Euro Truck Simulator 2 Let's Drive series. Today, I'm catching right up. I have already started a mission purely because the setup and getting out of the last town we were at, which was Brussels, Belgium, takes a little while, so I just got out of the town and got the job and everything going, so we wouldn't have to watch too much boring content. But anyway, to give you a map of where we're headed next, we are currently just getting on the A15 road. As you can see here, we just recently left Brussels, just right outside of the city onto the main highway. We're taking this road all the way for 1,007 kilometers for 16 hours of in-game time, all the way over to our final destination, which is Wrocław, Poland, which on the large scale of things you can see I have not been out this far in the past, so this will be nice, and hopefully I'll be able to get some missions out into the southeast over here. But yeah, we're gonna get right on started, pretty much just driving east all the way through. We've got what is this? We've got Belgium into some France and then Germany, and eventually out into Eastern Europe and to Poland. So I am in the middle of the highway as I last logged out. As you can see here, the skin for my truck is a little bit more bright than it used to be, but the glitch in the back has been fixed, and our truck is now opaque as it should be. But here's our cargo. It's a refrigerated unit of, looks like some sort of food. I cannot read that. I don't speak the language of Dutch, but that is certainly some sort of refrigerated food product. But anyway, we're going to get right back onto the road here, get everything started, including our windshield wipers and everything, since it is raining, and hopefully be able to merge up into traffic. I'm going to have to get kind of going here in the emergency lane here, just since this truck is extremely slow. I'm just gonna wait one more car. There we go. I'll cut this guy off right here. Oh, yeah, cut him off very much, but that's all right. After all, it is a little unrealistic to be in that spot anyway, since that's where the game throws you after you log out. But as you saw, this is episode 2 of the Euro Truck Let's Drive series. If you missed the first video, be sure and check it out. I kind of explain the basics of the series and of Euro Truck in general. But for this episode in particular, this will probably be a multiple part episode. I'm not a fan of making episodes that are longer than about 20 to 30 minutes, just because, I mean, I get bored watching them for that long. So don't worry, this video will not exceed about 20 or so minutes, and then I will probably end up continuing this drive in future episodes, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But anyway, tonight's topic is going to be the future of the channel, the future of kind of my content, and what you can expect to be seeing in the future. So as you may or may not have noticed in my various Twitter feeds, status updates, and other areas, there is now a website associated with the Ghost 267, which is aptly named theghost267.com. I'm going to have to merge over left here, so I'm going to have to sneak over. I actually might not have had to merge left. I just confused all these flashing lights with a merge, but I was wrong about that. Anyway, I'll just keep on going. I am heading over to Luxembourg, but I'll just keep going in my current lane and cross that bridge when I come to it. But anyway, my website is now aptly named theghost267.com, so go give that a check out and take a look to see how you like it. Any comments on it, feel free to comment on right on the video, since the site is still under construction. But aside from all of that, you can really expect from me, there will definitely be at least one video every week, and most cases there will be more. As you can probably tell, in this past week there have been about, or actually there has been exactly one new video every day. The content is certainly rolling, and I'm keeping up on it pretty rigorously. So you can definitely expect content from me in the future. I'm not going to go away since the Star Wars Battlefront beta has ended or anything, but for sure, at least once a week, possibly every other day, and if I really have a lot of content to cover, every single day of the week. But yeah, for the near future, expect every day or occasionally every other day, and I'll probably be making another Let's Drive series before I start going over to weekly, if that needs to happen scheduling wise. But as you can see, driving along here, right on the road, did not mean to do that. Don't want to crash. But yeah, I'm just chugging along at my typical speed of 90 kilometers an hour here, or 91 actually. I can actually drop that down to 90. There we are. Speed limit is technically 120, but I just prefer to be going 90, simply because it's a little safer for the truck. And as you can see in the on my dashboard right there, my tachometer is right in between 10 and 15, or 1,000 and 1,500 RPM, which is the sweet spot for a diesel truck. And additionally, the D12 stands for my 12th gear, so don't have anything higher than that, so don't want to be going much faster than 90 kilometers an hour in this truck. So that's where I'm going to stay, and that's where I always tend to stay. But unlike the last video, this one is taking place at night, and it's even raining, so we're kind of getting a view for all of the elements here. It is pretty realistic, and it's really one of the reasons I like this game. I'm currently running it completely unmodded, so there are no rain mods or graphic enhancement mods or any of that sort of things in the game right now. And I've used them in the past, and they're very nice. However, I haven't really found any good ones that are up to date with the latest patch of the game, so I'm not currently using one. And hey, you know, it looks fine. You get the little reflection on the road with the rain, and you can certainly hear it on the windshield, so I have no complaints at all about it. But we're just chugging along. Right now, I believe we're still in Belgium, but pretty soon we will be going over into, as you can see on the street sign right, or the freeway sign, Dusseldorf. So we are going to be heading into Germany here pretty soon. If we aren't there already, I'm not actually too positive. I did not look very closely out to the signs. It's also worth pointing out that this truck does have high beams, which I've forgotten the key to turn on. I think it's, no, that's headlights. I don't remember where the key is to turn on my high beams, but I do. Ooh, that's my. But I do definitely have high beams, and they're very, very bright. I will tell you that much. So that's one thing to know about the truck. I do also have, of course, my hazard lights, and I even have the beacon up at the front of the truck. That's typically used for oversized cargo, or when you'll be going very slow or whatever. Although for this kind of cargo, not really necessary. Heavy as it is, it's not oversized or anything, so no real reason to go through the hassle of all those lights the entire 16-hour journey we have here. But as you can see, cranking along pretty fast. We've only got 856 kilometers left to go after having started with about 1,300. But this is a long enough trip, and that there will be a stop in the middle of it. As you can see, the next rest stop will have to be in 7 hours and 42 minutes. I'm going to definitely be getting one before that time is up. Although usually you can drive, I think, around 8 to 9 hours on one rest, so I'll be waiting until we get under that time remaining. So probably when I have about 6 hours left on our trip here, I'll go in and grab a rest stop. That's about halfway from now, and about 7 hours from where we are right now. So that should be about perfect with that rest stop time. And yeah, it will definitely be necessary for the length of this trip. And that's pretty rare. This is considered a long distance trip in this game, and for good reason. It is quite a trip. Plus, in only having driven this mission for roughly 23 hours, it'll give me $33,000 in the game, which is quite an income off of that short of amount of time. So no complaints over here. Guessing we're into Germany now. This much more congested road. People aren't driving as fast as you'd expect them to be, but certainly gone up from just a 1 or 2 lane road to now a three lane highway here. Starting to head uphill as well. I'm going to eventually be getting over into one of the rightermost lanes, but since when you were driving around in Belgium and earlier in some roads in Germany, as you probably noticed a little earlier, the right lane will always be the one that turns off, and then the left lane will continue through. So obviously, since I've been continuing through, I've been wanting to be in the left lane, although now I think I can probably head over into the right lane, or at least the middle lane, since people will get mad at me if I'm not in the proper passing lane. Or the slow lane, rather. So yeah, as you can tell here, the rightmost lane will pretty typically always exit at whatever exit it is, whereas the left lane or the 2 left lanes or however many there are will continue going ahead, as you can see right here. Ausfahrt, the exit. Euro Truck Simulator 2. Learn German and other European languages while you play. That's always a nice camera. I think the idea is that you're sticking your head out the window and looking behind you, although I'm not sure you'd want to be doing that in this weather. I've noticed now I've gotten into the right lane inadvertently. A lot of the roads here, especially these smaller ones, are a little difficult to keep up with. I've apparently, yeah, as I said, inadvertently gotten into the right lane, and this lane will eventually end and turn into an exit. So you know, you really have to be alert when you're driving around. You can't just kind of get in the lane and just drive AFK for the entire time. You really have to be aware of where you're headed and what lane you're in. Otherwise, you could end up in you could end up on an exit, or figuring out that you are. Figuring out that you're in an exit lane too late and just merging right onto the through lane. I've done both, and both are not fun. So, although this lane, it looks like it will continue straight according to these signs above. Although that doesn't matter, because according to the map here, I will be turning off right up at this exit, heading towards Frankfurt or Kessel. So, great. Alright, here we go, coming up on my exit right here. I'm going to start to slow down a little bit. This isn't too steep. This is not too steep, though. Whenever possible, I always try and keep my momentum going, because this truck is extremely slow on acceleration. The torque is not too great, although it does have a decent horsepower, and as you're probably able to tell, it's able to get up to a fairly decent top speed. Although eventually I do plan on upgrading this truck, and hopefully buying more for the company that I have in the game. That is the plan, at least. Now I need to try and get my cruise control back up to 90, which is going to be difficult to do since I can barely even get there. Man, I didn't even see that guy coming in my mirror. Although I'm going to have to be passing this guy right here. As I was saying, I do notice I drive faster than a majority of the other AI trucks in the game, probably because I drive a little too fast, but at the same time, other cars still do go flying past me, so I'm not driving that fast. I'm not speeding by any means. You may have also noticed that the little GPS navigation in the right side, I think I mentioned in this last video, it will show you the speed limit on the road that you're on. For cars, at least. And I notice it's not giving me that right now. I'm not really sure why. Actually, I think the reason might be, see, now this comes from the fact that I've never really been to Europe, and I'm playing a Euro Truck driving simulator, but it might be because I believe the Autobahn does not have a speed limit, if I'm correct there. It might for trucks, but I do have it set to the car speed limit settings, so I don't think there is one for other vehicles. I think you just drive as fast as you're safe, I think, is the way it works in Germany. If you're German and know better, you're probably over there just shaking your head saying, oh my god, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And that's completely true, and I'm not even going to try and argue that with you. So if you're German and have been on the Autobahn, please by all means comment and put me in my place, because I do not know the speed limit on the Autobahns, or if they even have one. Although, judging by how fast that guy was going, seeing as how I'm already going 90 kilometers an hour and that going zipping past, I'm guessing that I am correct in my assumption here, but it's just a hunch. Another thing I'd like to point out, that if you've made it this far in the video, then props to you, because I can understand that it can be a little boring to watch people play Euro Truck Simulator, but hey, you know, I'm trying to keep it entertaining for those who are watching it. I think that, you know, I'm having a blast here, I'm enjoying myself, and so I try and keep it as entertaining as possible for those watching. So if you really loathe this series, or if every time I upload it a part of you dies because you're just excruciatingly bored or something, then please let me know and I will stop doing this series. But I find it to be pretty relaxing, and occasionally I'm in a place where I'm unable to play the game, and you know, I say to myself, well, gee, you know, hey, if I were in the area right now, or I was able to, you know, have access to a computer that could run it, I'd play this right now. You know, it's at end of the night or whatever. You just kind of want to unwind and not worry about shooting anything. And you know, hey, just as good to watch someone else drive around a truck around Europe than it is to do it yourself sometimes if you can't. So. But again, let me know if you're excruciatingly bored, just bored out of your goddamn mind, and you just don't know what to do with yourself. Then please do let me know, and I will put you out of your misery, so you don't have to see this on your feed. That is, of course, if you subscribe to me, and if you haven't, well then shame on you, and don't make that comment, because by all means, there is no reason not to subscribe. It is a great channel, if I do say so myself. But anyway, exiting off the Autobahn here. Just passed a speed camera up on the freeway, which you could tell by that little archway that I passed under right as I went on the off-ramp. But only 632 kilometers to go here, 10 hours in-game time, so we're already 6 hours into our trip, making great progress. Although I do plan to, again, once I get to about 6 hours left, I'm going to probably stop for a rest stop, and at that time, probably get off, or I'd rather end this video and prep it for another video. So there will probably be about 2 episodes out of this one trip, and it should be a good time. This is a pretty extensive trip, and maybe I'll be able to buy another truck after having completed it. Alright, cruise control has been reapplied back to 90 kilometers an hour. Back on another freeway, heading in another direction. I definitely pointed this out last time, but take a look at the soccer ball hanging up there in the center left. That is a, you had a bunch of options between like a skull and, you know, a very American pattern of putting on the little dice on the, hanging from the rearview mirror. But really, I figured it's Euro Truck Simulator after all. I almost ran into that guy behind me, but it's fine. It is Euro Truck Simulator after all, so may as well, in true European style, throw a soccer ball up there, since that is Europe's football after all. That's only appropriate, right? I have to say, though, that I really do like how the, if you notice right on the center dashboard, right under the ball, and the ball itself, they both move with the truck, so, you know, if I were to swerve excessively or whatever, they would nod around and bounce and all of that stuff, and I think it's a really nice touch with the realism there. Although it is, of course, a recently released DLC, so it is to be expected, I suppose. Chugging along here, losing some speed, but just cresting the hill, picking it back up. And I just noticed it is no longer raining, so I'll go ahead and turn off my windshield wipers here, and, well, I reached out to my keyboard, swerve across the entire left lane. But it's fine, nobody was there. I seem to get lucky with, whenever something goes wrong, I always get lucky by not running into anyone. So, but hey, not complaining. Chugging along at 90 kilometers an hour, and this guy doesn't even have a trailer, and I'm going faster than him, and somebody else is about to pass me. Oh, that was cutting it a little bit too close, but we're fine. Makes me wonder if I'm doing something wrong going this fast, because even a truck without a trailer, I was able to beat. So something is not right over here, is what I'm thinking. And see the nice asphalt even has on the detailed, it has the little lines that you'd see in the road, you know, right in the middle of the lane wherever the cars would have been driving. Not really nice touch with the reflection and everything. I think that the graphics, I mean, this is a game that's about 2 or 3 years old, and the graphics are still decent, you know, enough to where I'm not really disappointed by the graphics, or to a point where I don't want to play the game because it doesn't meet modern standards. It's certainly not the case. It still does it, you know. I don't think that there's a real need in the immediate future for them to release like a Euro Truck 3 or anything. Although I do hear from Scania Software that that a American truck simulator is being developed as we speak, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. Although I do still find a nice touch in playing Euro Truck, because, you know, I've never been to Europe, so it's a real nice mini kind of micro-environment of Europe, of the place that I've never been and hope to make it to eventually. But that right there that I just passed is a traffic camera. Obviously, if you're going any bit over the speed limit, then it would fine you, and that was because we just went through a construction zone. That's why that was there, and why the speed limit even existed in that instance. Alright, I see there's also a rest area coming up here, so I'm going to try and hop off on this rest area. I'm not exactly sure how long exactly I can make it on one rest, but I think it should be under 8 hours and 12 minutes. I'm not fully positive, but we will find out after I finish resting. And if, in a worst case scenario, I do go slightly over it, it is indeed possible to continue driving for a couple of minutes over the recommended rest area time. Although eventually you will end up falling asleep on the job, which is, of course, never very good. But I'm trying to find where exactly I'm going to be going here. I think it may be as simple as just right behind this guy that I'm about to hit. Ooh, that was a little bit too close, but wow, look at that. That was quite a perfect stop, if I do say so myself. But I think actually I'm in the wrong spot, and that the area I'm supposed to be going to is in fact over here in one of these parking spot looking things. So I'm going to head over here, try and get parked, and just grab a rest, and hopefully be back in action to finish the job. But I'm still relatively... Okay, here we go. This will work. As you can tell, that was an accidental escape, but as you can tell, professional parking jobs coming right out of the Let's Drive series. This is truly remarkable. It's completely fine. Nobody cares. It's great. So I'm going to go ahead and rest overnight here, pay my loan payments, and grab some income, and then I'm going to carefully take a look at the distance I have remaining. 7 hours and 57 minutes with 11 hours on my rest. So I'm doing great on the rest, and I'm already ticking down, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my headlights off and restart my engine, and I'm going to conclude this episode there. So as you can probably tell, we are here now. On pause. Okay, great. We have gone from being somewhere right over by Brussels. We were right about here when our episode started. We've made our way all the way across this road, right through down here, and now we are all the way over here by Erfurt, Germany, and we'll be continuing about the other half of our voyage over to Wrocław, Poland, from which then we will explore the Eastern Europe. And it'll be a great thing. So as you can tell right now, 21% explored, and hopefully that number will just continue going up in the future. So that's all from this episode. There will definitely be more in the future. Let me know what you think. If you don't like the Let's Drive series, let me know, and I'll either revise it or maybe just get rid of it altogether. You know, if it really isn't liked, then just let me know again. So anyway, that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future episodes. But until then, I'll catch you next time.